Hey there, today we're going to be talking about standard deviation, what it means, and how we calculate it using our calculators. Alright, first off, definition. Standard deviation, this measures how spread out our set of data is. Fix this, make it look more like a U and an R. This measures how spread out our set of data is. This little symbol up here is a sigma. It's a lowercase Greek letter S, and sometimes you will see that symbol used when talking about standard deviation or when questions are talking about standard deviation. But all we're really looking at is it's a measurable way of how spread out a set of data is. For instance, if we have low standard deviation, this means the data is really close together. All of the numbers are relatively close to each other. They're not very spread out. Whereas if we have a high standard deviation, it means our numbers are kind of all over the place. They're really far apart. They're not necessarily close together. Alright, so let's talk about how we figure this out using our calculator. So first off, we need to go to the stat menu. The stat menu is right here below the delete key. We're going to go there and we're going to go to edit. So you should have this type of menu pulled up right there, and you're going to enter at this point in all of the data points that you need to enter in. Obviously we don't have a problem yet, so I'm just sort of walking you through the steps. Once we get a problem, I will once again walk you through these steps, and hopefully this will make a little bit more sense. But once we get all of that entered in, once we get all of our data points entered in, we can exit out of there, and then we're going to go to second and list. The list is just the yellow version of the stat. So right there for list, we go second and list. It's going to get that in there. And then we go over to math, and you should see at the very bottom for number 7, there's a standard deviation program right there. So that will give us standard deviation, and then once we pull that up, all we have to do is enter in the name of whatever list we did. Usually you're going to be entering things in on list 1, so you can just go second, and then L1 is down here on the number 1. So if you hit second and then the 1 button, it'll get you the L1 there. And if we had data in there, it would calculate it for us. So let's try this out with some actual numbers. Alright, here we're asked to find the mean and the standard deviation. This is pretty typical. Usually, and the vast majority of the time, anytime you're finding standard deviation, you're also finding the mean. So let's just calculate that out real quick. We're just going to add up all our numbers and divide by how many we have. So if I add these up real quick, should give me 5.5. So the average is 5.5. Now we need to calculate our standard deviation using our calculators. So I'm going to go into stat and then edit. I'm going to enter these numbers in here into my list for L1. So I've got 12, 3, 4, 5, and 7. And when you enter it in your calculator, it should look something like this. And so then we're going to quit out of there. We're going to go to the list menu now, go over to math, and then down to standard deviation for number 7. So we've got this up here, and we just have to enter in our list name right there, so L1, and hit enter. And we get this right here. So our standard deviation for this set of numbers is 3.56. I'm going to abbreviate here just as STDV. So this is how we calculate standard deviation using our calculators, and in the next video I will talk about what this actually means and how we actually use this.